I know for me, if you give me something week to week, great. I'll watch it week to week. I'll process it. I'll think about it. I'll rewatch it, 1, 2, 3 times, depending on what it is. But I also know if you give it to me at all at once, I'm going to watch it all at once because I'm like, it's right there. It's waiting for me. You're somebody who creates content. You comment on shows. You do a lot of this stuff. How did it work for you getting these 3 episodes a week that kind of fit in this arc mode?
Well, it's like if you have a whole cake in your fridge, you're going to eat it, but then you're not going to feel great after. And then a few days later, you're going to wish the cake was still there.
There's a reason they call it binging, right?
Every day. Yeah. Okay. I'm of 2 minds of it. There's my mind that's, my job. And of course, it would be much easier, better for us, like workflow wise, view wise, keep it going longer to have had like 12 weeks of 1 episode per week coverage. Right. That would have been better for our business model. Ignoring that, just as a fan, yeah, I love binging stuff too. Like I said, with the cake, if there's a cake in my fridge, it's gone. So yes, if it's there, I'll binge the whole thing. But there's something so fun about, and I know it's frustrating, like when there's a cliffhanger. Like right now, I've been catching up on Last of Us, and I'm caught up now, and I'm like, I want more. And so I kind of spoiled myself on that. But I like, and I think it's better for the show itself if you keep that conversation going and having like those water cooler conversations. I think it gets the word out about the show better. That's why I'm glad Netflix finally, with Stranger Things, at least split the season in 2, drop the first half, then the second half, so you can get some word of mouth. Because I think when you just drop it all at once, that's not good for how we do videos. I also just don't think it's good for the show itself. Andor kind of walked that middle line. They didn't drop it all at once, but they did 3 arcs or 4 arcs, right? 3 episodes each.
Yep.
I guess it's fine, because if that's how they plan to do it from the jump, then to quote George Lucas, it's stylistically designed to be that way, but we can diminish the effects of it. Did anybody get that prequel documentary line? I personally wish that they had done it episode by episode. I'm a big advocate for, if you are not a sitcom, a cartoon, or a spaghetti western, I want your shows to be at least an hour long, and I want 1 a week. That's how I think that was the perfect model. I think it's proven that was the perfect model, like with Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Succession. You look at the most recent shows that are all in that same genre, I think, as Andor, and that's the model for releasing them. So as cool as it is to get a Star Wars movie every week, I do wonder if they would have had even more like word of mouth success had they cut the show a little differently and released 1 episode a week. That would be my preference.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Pete, you and I have talked about this off and on throughout when it was announced. Throughout the course of this, we were also lucky enough to get the screeners, and I think honestly it helped us with busy lives and trying to do shows and that kind of thing. So it worked out. Where do you ultimately end up on the 3 episode a week situation?
I think it was great for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think it was one of the things that I noticed, especially when we would break them down. I noticed that episode 2 of each arc left you in it was kind of a down show, other than the Gorman Massacre, but it was kind of a down moment before going into the launch. So you would have to wait a full week after coming out of something that, which is why I think releasing the first 3 episodes of season 1, they did it the way they did it. However, I would do something a little bit different. And Colton, I think you sort of leaned into this a little bit when you were talking about the way Stranger Things did things. I would have gotten 4 months of subscriptions out of it, and I would have done 1 a month. Like maybe the first Tuesday of the month, I would have dropped it. Arc 1, Arc 2, Arc 3, because that does a couple things. It'll keep people talking about it for that next month. It keeps your subscription. I mean, I hate to just put on the business hat, but the reality is you need only 2 months for this show. If you had 4, you would stick around. But I also think it would give people that opportunity to, after you watch Solo or Rise of Skywalker or whatever. You had that opportunity to talk about it, and it gave people some time to catch up, and so I think that would have been a little bit better. I don't know if it would have been better, but it would have been a different way to do it, and I think it would have been an interesting way to experiment.
I think we're also at a point where there is so much, especially just Disney alone. They're putting out so much stuff, which great, but I feel like a lot of people are getting to a point where they feel like they just do not have time to watch everything. It feels like homework. Like, oh, I need to binge 3 hours of this show before I can watch this next week's episode. Right. So I can see that being a problem. And can I just say, I think I kind of brushed over this in my point about like, if you're not a spaghetti Western, a sitcom or a cartoon, my point to that is, I love that we are actually getting hour-long episodes and not that 22-minute when you don't account for credits stuff. So I want to praise Andor for that as well, for actually giving us real TV.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, the 36-minute episodes are like, oh no, stop.
Yeah, and half of it's credits.
Wait a minute.